So look who we have over here, Harmeet Shah, former colleague of India Today, now a political analyst here, living in London. Harmeet, thank you so much for joining us. पहले तो ये बताएं, how are you finding London? How are you finding the UK? You've come just after covering the Indian elections and right in the middle of UK elections.
Absolutely, there's a lot of excitement here, excitement in terms of campaign and all that.
Is there? I can't really see much. If I go across and ask somebody, they'll be wondering whether there are elections or not. I'm telling you honestly, I've been here and there is no color, no fanfare. Many of them are tourists from outside, but in Europe, they don't even know what's happening and what is it that we're doing and covering.
So let me put it in perspective here. When I say excitement, I don't mean that carnival kind of a situation.
Not like India.
Not like India. It's part of the day-to-day chatter that the people are having here in their homes. For example, I was with a family yesterday in Birmingham, and they were really talking about, and they were a very well-off family, and they were talking about issues and the factors that are going to determine this election. So at the level of families who are locals, who are citizens here, yes, definitely there is a lot of chatter about these elections. You don't find them in the street because there are multiple nationalities here. So why should they be bothered? I mean, if a country is holding elections, they have no stake here.
So what are the issues? What's on the agenda? How badly has the Israel-Hamas war impacted the youth that has turned now Labour and anti-conservative?
You are right. I see a red wave here, and that red wave, of course, red is associated with the Labour Party, and Labour is having a considerable lead. That's my understanding. I can be completely wrong. But at the same time, the issue here is it because of Labour policies that Labour is gaining ground, or is it because of certain things that have really gone awfully wrong during the 14 years of Conservative rule?
Break it down for us. Break it down. What are the issues that went wrong for Conservatives, particularly not 14 years for Rishi Sunak?
You see, it's not one person as such. People actually see Conservative as a collective unit. It's not that, Rishi Sunak, you have 5 leaders in past 8 years from Conservative parties who led this country. And Labour is in power since 2010. But the main issue, you spoke about...
Conservative is in power.
Sorry, but Conservatives are in power from 2010 here. Now, the main issue here is, to my understanding, is perhaps not as much as the Gaza war, but cost of living. The cost of living crisis has really impacted the voters in this part of the world.
Immigration?
Immigration is another issue, but inflation, for example, just 8 months ago, the inflation rate here went up to as high as 11%.
Pretty high. That's pretty high.
That's pretty high. So in any country in the world, if you have this level of inflation, you're bound to lose power. And is that even if you adjust it with your salaries and wages, etc., then again, people are not really better off. They think that, as I mentioned it to you, that I was with a family in Birmingham, pretty well-off family, and they were billionaires, perhaps. And they were talking about high costs of food. They were talking about transportation. For example, traveling from London to Birmingham, it costs a lot. So these are inflation and economic issues are really a big factor in these elections. And coupled with them, of course, you can talk about geopolitics, but people are more really concerned about their own pockets. That this is something which is hurting me a lot. And I think from 2010 and now to 2024, people say, okay, enough of Conservative. And one more thing here, in campaign, and it's all over the world, it's a universal phenomenon that when you campaign in poetry, but when you govern in prose. So poetry is happening. Labour is
Where?
also doing this.
I don't see poetry happening
Campaign.
anywhere.
They talk. They know the kind of language that
I'm
people
just kidding,
use.
but
Yeah.
yes, we saw the last debate. Seemed very, very tough. While Rishi Sunak did or performed better than Keir Starmer. For India, Harmeet, Keir Starmer or Rishi Sunak, who could be better for India?
Again, geopolitically speaking, conservatives have had a great relationship. India, of course, is India and the United Kingdom, irrespective of who comes to power and where. These things sometimes do not really matter. They are strategic partners in many, and there are so many areas of cooperation that individuals don't really matter. But yes, on certain issues, you have Labour is critical of India, more critical of India than the conservatives, as has happened with the United States. For example, you know it better than I do that Democrats, So when but has anything fundamentally changed between the United States or India? No, it hasn't.
Has the Indian community shifted? Is there a shift? Do you see what are the pollsters saying?
Again, when we talk about Indian community, then Indian community is not a monolith community, right? You have pockets of people who vote for conservatives. Then you have sections of the same community from within the same community who are die-hard supporters of Labour for many reasons. And you can't say that because in India, within India, people don't vote monolithically. So we can't really expect them to be voting the same way outside